Cambodian. The capital of Cambodia is Phnom Penh. Phnom Penh. Okay? P-H-E-N-N. Phnom Penh. Now, how it came about, my father is the only male in our family. Okay? And we live in this little town called Cambodian. I have 2 aunts. They were too young to be married yet. So when they turned 16 or 17, they married the women's off. Okay? When the men back then, when they marry a woman, they belong to the male side family. You don't come back anymore. In other words, you sold for 1 cow, maybe the arranged marriage, okay? But my 2 aunts are a little smaller. I was born 1965. My brother was 9 months exactly apart. His name is Mang. I got 2 other siblings, a brother and sister. And my grandmother and my father and my mother. And we lived in this little tiny hood, like y'all see in the Discovery Channel, okay? And there's a Discovery Channel where you'd have this the straw house. Your huff and puff is gone, okay? It's a little straw house. But we were happy. We didn't have anything much to do, but we just happy. We have 2 acres of land and we work on it and we plant rice. Rice field is hard to harvest. We had to plant the seeds first, and then when the seeds grow, then we had to take it out about 6 inches long, and then we had to replant the seed. And then when we plant the seed, and then the seed will grow to 6 foot tall, and then you have to chop it off and then hit it, and so the little rice will come out. And then you have to chop it again, and so you'll make the little rice. Take those little shells out. You're like, what I got to tell you about all this about, right? But this is all because of rice. Okay? All because of rice. And my dad, he was wondering, he needs to plant more rice so that he can give his children the opportunity of clothing, maybe school, and all the stuff. You see, other countries does not offer school. Unless you are a rich kid, you are able to pay for school. And if you're not rich, you don't get an education at all. Whatever you get from home, that's all you get. So my dad thought maybe purchasing an animal will help him out with the rice field and get more rice growing so he can go to town, to the capital to exchange goods. So one day he come with the little baby elephant. And I was like, wow, my pet, it's my pet. He said, no, it's not your pet. You and your brother need to take care of that elephant. You need to raise the elephant so he can help out with the field. And my dad's like, now you got to name your animal now. Okay? Let your elephant help out with the field so that we can get more rice so I can go purchase you some books and stuff. And we name our elephant. Guess what we name our elephant? No. We named her Poo-Poo. Her name was Poo-Poo, okay? P-U-P-U. And so Poo-Poo was so gentle and so wonderful animal. And we played with her and we played with her. She even play hide and seek now. Okay? Yeah, she does. And she'd go into the mud and she'd cover herself up really good with the mud, and the mud and her color is the same color. So we don't know what it is, and we'll be going down the rice field, and then she'll pop up with her trunk, and she'll spray all over us, and we're like, ah! And all the mud and everything else. And we having a great time, okay? But, having a great time, no education is not the thing that my dad wants us to have. And so my dad thought, well, maybe, just maybe, he can take some rice to town, to Phnom Penh, to the capital, and exchange for some book and get thing that for the kid that we need. So my grandmother gave him a list, and I gave him a list. My brother gave him a list. My mom gave him a list, so that so when he come back, he can bring us all the lists that we was requested. But you see, going to Phnom Penh, the capital of Cambodia, is pretty far away. It's 800 miles or more, okay? By foot now, by foot. So he packed up his thing, 2 bags of rice, and began to head for the capital. So when he got to the capital, now, this story about my story is all about my faith, okay? It's about my belief. That's how I'm here to tell you the story. My dad, the very first time he heard the word, a beautiful word that he ever heard, when he got to the capital, when he 2 bags of rice, he set it down, saw this little store, and heard these people talking. He walked on into this store, and these people opened this book up, began to read, and then translated. Then he heard the word Jusu. He said, wow, how beautiful that name is. What a beautiful name. So he totally forgot about his rights to exchange for goods. So he went on in, sat down, and listened, story after story. And when he came home, it took him months to get home, right? And we can't see him coming, and we thought maybe we'll get all the things that we asked for. You know what? He forgot about it. He's so excited. He forgot to take his rice in exchange for anything. He bought the 2 bags of rice back home. And my grandmother thought he was going crazy. And so we like, what happened to all the lists that we gave you? And he's like, well, we don't need all the lists. We don't need all that stuff. We just need what I'm going to tell you tonight. Let's sit in a campfire. So we sit in a campfire. Grandma making some food, and I was sitting next to Grandma. My dad was sitting next to me, and my brother, Mang, and we were just listening to story after story my dad told, that he met these people and they did not look like him. They didn't talk like him. And then he said to me, he said, Siv, I believe. You need to believe too. And one day, Siv, you're going to go to a place called America. I said, where is this place called America? You see, we didn't have no map. We didn't have anything, okay? We didn't have anything. I didn't know where America is. Dad said, don't worry, one day you will be able to go to a place called America. And so, that day, our whole entire family believed what he said. But my dad told us to keep it as a secret, because if our village find out that we believe in what we believe in, they will punish us. So it was a secret between our family. Well, you know, I have 2 aunts left. They was growing up. One turned 16, one turned 17. And so they were married off to the other side family, the man's side family, so they don't come back and visit us no more. I never see my aunt again. So I got 2 brothers, 2 sisters, and my grandmother and my mother. And we were living day after day, planting rice, hoping for a chance to go to school and things like that. So my dad thought maybe he can move the family just a little closer to Phnom Penh. Maybe he'd get a chance to find out about these people. When I say move closer, it's 300 miles closer, okay? Remember, 800 miles, but it's 300 miles a little closer. So as we were moved closer, our house was a little different than our normal house before. our house have cements now instead of straw house. So when that happened, my dad had to look for a job. So when he was looking for a job, you see, Vietnam War had just ended. How many of you know about the Vietnam War in history? It's ending, right? You know, President called all the people out, did not want nothing to do with Vietnam War. And so we thought Vietnam War was ending. The children was playing in the alley. I was playing with my brother May. We didn't know any better. So the soldiers coming in, one at a time. In the beginning, they were really, really nice. But suddenly, chaos. They began to take children. My dad, while looking for a job, he realized this is not a parade that the soldiers come in. I need to go find my children. My dad looked through the crowd and looked through the crowd, and then he found me. He took out a knife. The soldier was on this side, the soldier on the other side. He pulled me aside where no soldiers see me. And so we began to cut my hair off, trim my hair all the way down to look like my brother. I didn't understand it. He shook me. He said, "Siv, don't let them know that you're a little girl. Do you understand me? Don't let them know." I said, "Why, Dad? Why are you doing this to me? Why?" My dad said, "Things going to happen. It's going to happen really fast." And so, suddenly, children was taken. All these little boys on one end, and all the little girl was taken. And the mother, can you imagine, the parent was in a chaos, pulling their children one at a time. This is when I saw what happened. I was with the boys section with my brother, and we all was screaming for our parent. And this little girl about my side, the hair was long. And the soldier, she didn't want to go with the soldier. And the mother was pulling her, and the soldier was pulling her. Finally, they shot the mother. And then they took her. They ripped her clothes off. They beat her. They kicked at her. They spit at her. And that's when the first soldier got on top of her. She's screaming. I can hear her voice, just screaming. He done. He kicked her again. Then the second soldier. Then the third. Then the fourth. There was so many. They ripped that little body to pieces. That's when I knew I'm not to reveal myself to them. I was taken to this work camp. You see, this work camp is from morning to night. They put us in this rice field, planting rice from early in the morning till nighttime. And they don't feed us. They give us a little bowl of rice soup. If you don't work fast enough, they beat us until we work fast. In this 105-degree hot heat, children begin to die. See, each time I was able to see the adult side of family camp, where my father, my mother, my little sister and brother, you see, little baby was tossed in a hole with the rest of the other babies. They killed. I don't know how the tortures went, because I wasn't in the adult side family. All I know is from the boy side family, You see, at night.